Let's start at the very beginning. I was born in Cape Town, South Africa. For anyone who has visited, you would then agree that this has to be one of the most geographically spectacular places in the world. But I grew up during apartheid, a period of legalized segregation and discrimination based on the grounds of race. As a highly sensitive and empathic person, I recall being confused as a child. I felt very much alone during my formative years, and the only things that truly brought me solace and joy were drawing, music, and dance. These were the modalities that I tapped into for self-expression, processing, and healing. Of course, I was too young to know any of this at the time, but in retrospect, this was the beginning of me connecting to the healing arts and alternative ways to move energy and be in alignment. Dancing provided a safe outlet for me to express myself and gave me permission to excuse myself from the rest of the world, which seemed so cruel and unjust. But as I moved into my teenage years, dancing became an unhealthy obsession. It was how I received validation. Rather than self-referral joy, I used my dance accolades to feel a sense of worthiness. Although my dancing enabled me to attend prestigious schools and taught me great discipline, it also precipitated an eating disorder. I had very little respect and love for my body. I never thought I would attend university. My formative educational experience was not a very positive one. As a kinesthetic and visually inclined learner, I did not conform to the regiment and structure of a British-based academic system. I had a deep childhood wound around never feeling very smart or academically inclined. I grew up with the limited belief that I wasn't intelligent enough to pursue a professional life in medicine or law, for example. I graduated high school at 17 and attended my local community college while dancing and teaching. It was during this time that I discovered I had a deep curiosity for learning and fully embraced the world of academia. My professors were accommodating and taught to the students' strengths. My perception of learning transformed and my mind opened up beyond my wildest imagination. In my third year, I transferred to UCLA, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in World Arts and Cultures with a focus on dance movement ritual. In my final years of university, I developed an autoimmune disease and had to quit my professional dance pursuits abruptly. As an avid illustrator and lover of costume design, I applied to design school and moved to New York City to attend the Fashion Institute of Technology. I completed my associate's degree in fashion art and illustration at Polymoda, which is located in Florence, Italy. While traveling across Europe, I experienced a massive energy opening and I was creatively activated. I had never felt more alive and aligned with my authentic self. I was curious and in a constant state of flow. Perhaps this has something to do with the fact that I am only 2 generations removed from my European ancestors, and I felt really connected to being in that part of the world. After being a dancer, I did not know it would be possible to feel divinity move through me again, but I was wrong. Inspiration came to me in ways I had never quite experienced before. I felt deeply connected and grateful for my gifts and the ability to transform. This was a period of great expansion, and it was nothing short of magical. After an incredible experience in Europe, I moved back to New York and worked as a designer for some of the garment district's leading fashion design houses, like Betsy Johnson, Ellie Tahari, At the age of 26, I founded my own fashion label and created my very first collection as an independent designer. I moved to Los Angeles from New York, and my collection was a buzz amongst the celebrity circuit. You could see my designs all over the red carpet, in editorial publications, on TV, in the movies, and in over 400 boutiques worldwide. Simultaneously, while producing my own collection, I also consulted many other design houses and those seeking to establish their own collections. This included the incredible opportunity to work with Stevie Wonder, so I got to spend a year working in Stevie's home and traveling the world with him and his family. It was one of the most profound experiences of my life. After closing the doors of my fashion house, I moved to San Francisco with my 9-month-old and connected with a mother's group. It was there that several women approached me about my style, sensibility, and depth of knowledge for quality, fit, and color. Almost by night, I became a fashion stylist and image consultant. While this was a fun and fulfilling endeavor for over a decade, and it gave me great joy to see my many clients grow in confidence and transform their forward-facing selves, I was also becoming acutely aware of the body dysmorphia, low self-image, and lack of self-acceptance my clients had for themselves. These very destructive embodiments were clearly propelling a very toxic industry forward. As data was becoming more transparent, it was apparent that the fast fashion model was having drastic effects on the environment and its inhabitants. And I was helping as a fashion stylist to fill deep-rooted wounds by encouraging retail therapy and consumption. At first, I attempted to slow fashion down and encourage my clients to purchase less, but this didn't make for a very productive and successful business as a personal shopper. So instead, I vowed to hold myself to a higher standard and to accept the gifts that the universe was presenting, a new purpose as an integrative transformation life coach. Being a mother is the most expansive experience of my life. It is through my children that I learn and grow the most. We have walked through celebrations, illness, divorce, cross-continent adventures, and multiple moves together. My own journey to becoming an integrative health coach was because of my son's fight against a very serious, and at that time, not a well-understood autoimmune disease, PANDAS. PANDAS stands for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorder Associated to Strep. It was through the combination of Western and functional medicine, as well as learning more about alternative treatments, energy, nutrition, and the esoteric, that I was able to nurse my son back to optimal health. This was a 9-year-long journey, and if I had not explored integrative medicine, I don't know if he would be okay today. So many people have ended up with psychosis simply because Western medicine did not look to see if the patient was fighting some kind of bacterial or viral infection. All the specialists from UCSF, UCLA to Stanford wanted to medicate him. They wanted to band-aid the problem. And that drove me on my search to seek for other ways of healing, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. My daughter's sensitivity, creativity, and open heart, alongside my son's resilience, intelligence, humor, and kindness, inspire and guide me daily. I am so blessed that these two souls chose to be with me on this journey, and I am touched by them each and every moment of my life with so much grace and infinite love. I don't think I would be at CIIS if it wasn't for them. I attribute them for awakening me to my purpose and my true path and destiny. In 2016, I had a spiritual awakening that was triggered by trauma. I had no idea what was happening to me. From one moment to the next, everything that I had believed to be true no longer resonated. I had released all of what I thought I had known and how I made sense of the world, and was left in a pile of ashes. This was both the most painful experience of my life and fiercely liberating. This deeply sacred time of reclamation and manifestation was the catalyst for many losses and some deep heartbreak. It resulted in the purging of relationships, possessions, professions, income, and most importantly, antiquated, embedded limiting belief systems. I had no one to talk to, and this is what led me on my path of seeking massive amounts of expansion and eventually my journey towards becoming an expressive arts therapist. The awakening process takes a considerable amount of time to integrate. You see, we are born into a matrix of customs, systems, and societal expectations. And along the way, we somehow forget who we are and what we came here to learn and be. When one awakens, we begin to recall our truest essence, unconditional love and acceptance for ourselves and for the collective. Up until 2015, so much of what I focused on and revolved my life around was appearances, social status, and accumulated luxury possessions. I built an entire business and lifestyle brand around it. Inspired by my clients, I started to seek modalities and strategies that could help support them to feel more self-loving, and this led me toward my own metamorphosis. In exploring various therapies, I found myself magnetically drawn to being of greater and more profound service. I wanted to share everything I was learning and experiencing with anyone who had curiosity and seeking like myself. As I found my alignment, I awoke to my calling. I became acutely aware that everything I had gone through up until this point was meant for my growth and prepared me for the work that I truly came here to do. Until I started to heal, I never quite understood the impact my habits and behaviors had on my family, community, and environment. As I became more conscious, I felt less separate from the collective and started to take greater responsibility for every decision and action I was making. Every day, I continue to do my work, and there are still times I find myself struggling with self-compassion. As a daughter of the patriarchy, I have learned to perform in order to belong, and I know that this will be a never-ending peeling back and uncovering. I walk my path with two legs firmly planted on the earth, and with both arms dancing in the skies, embracing both the esoteric and the practical. I believe that when we awaken to our spiritual selves, we have an obligation to embody and ground the wisdom so that we can leave the world better than how we found it. As I support others to heal and guide them to live a more holistic and integrative life with clarity and in alignment with their truest nature, I continue to heal myself. Thank you so much for listening.